Yesterday, a friend and I spent the day up in the woods, and we ended up collecting a bunch of arrow shafts. I tied them together with some trailing blackberry vines. I think. Well, that one's pretty straight already. First thing I'm going to do is peel the bark off. Okay, now that it's all debarked, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. And I don't cut it to length right now, simply because ocean spray has a horrible tendency to crack as it's drying. So I leave them long because they usually crack. It usually cracks at the ends, splits while it's drying, whatever. So I leave it long for that purpose. It's a beautiful little saw made by Wagon John. Thanks, bud. Debarked and trimmed. This whole arrow is big and fat, so I'm going to trim the diameter of it, and I'm going to go ahead and carve in the bulb nock. I'll probably go down about that far from the end of the stick to prevent the splitting. Because like I said, it usually splits at the end and works its way down. See, it split through my little bulb nock, which actually doesn't really matter. It'll still work. But I'd rather it not have a crack in it. What I'm going to do, just to save myself some grief, I'm going to saw a groove around here. Not too deep, just a little bit. Just a shallow groove. This will help in the trimming process, because now I'm going to take and shave this up to right there, and the groove there stops it. I'm also going to be working on thinning the entire shaft down. Again, taking long, even strokes if I can. And I'm not an expert on bow or arrow making. I'm not an expert on archery by any means. So I'm not one to figure out exact numbers and sizes, and basically I'm making an arrow. That's what I'm doing. This is not a series I'm doing on making arrows. This is what I was doing today. And I just thought I'd share it with you. So don't ask me stupid questions like, where's the rest of the videos? Where's the finished arrow? Sorry. You're just hanging out with me in the garage today. Just a piece of jasper does work exceedingly well. And I try to make my arrows in a set so that a set of arrows is similar, you know, in shape and size and length, all that kind of stuff. This one here is really fat. I still have a lot of shaving and trimming to do on this one here to get it to size. Alright, so the arrow shaft is at the size I want it to be. And right now, where the bulb nock is going to be, I have all this nastiness here. Just a flake. All it is. And I am just going to trim it off. And this is why I do it when it's green, because it's easy to cut, trim, shape, all that stuff. I'll do the same on this side. I'll saw the notch and then trim it up to the notch. And this side doesn't have to be as perfect because eventually all this is getting cut off. I'm thinning it clear to the ends because the fatter it is, the more likely it is going to split. To prevent this from cracking, I'm going to heat treat it. Alright, I'm not exactly sure what this does, but I believe it, I don't know what it does, but you don't want to leave it in too long. If you leave it in too long, it'll crack right here because it'll dry so fast. What you want it to do is to just sear the outside of the wood. And pretty much what I do is I just leave it in there until I can't touch it anymore. Since this is not only preventing cracking, since you heat it up, this is when I straighten my arrows. If you shave the bark off of ocean spray or arrowwood and don't heat treat it, it will split so bad that your piece will be utterly useless. That's pretty nice. Well, there you have it. My finished arrow shaft that's prepared for drying. Now I'll just leave it out in my garage where it's nice and cool so it'll dry slowly. And that also helps prevent it from splitting. And I check their straightness, you know, every day or two. Just to make sure they're drying straight. There you have it. Arrow shafts to the drying stage. All done with a rock.